So I watched the Book of Boba Fett, and by golly, was it an absolute mess. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive Star Wars shill, and I will watch anything in this sexy cinematic universe. But I'm also allowed to have an opinion, so here we go. This is the first and only warning for spoilers for the entire season. This is a completely spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen the show, I recommend coming back to this video after you've seen it. If you don't care, well, okay, enjoy the video. The Book of Boba Fett is weird as hell. It has no idea what it wants to be. At all. Let me explain. The first 4 episodes split 2 storylines. The first focuses on Boba's journey after he escapes the Sarlacc pit and befriends a tribe of Tuskens. The second is what he's been up to after the events of Mandalorian Season 2. One of these storylines is pretty good. One is not. In one storyline, Boba gets captured by a group of Tuskens and in time becomes integrated into the tribe. We see him go from a captive to a respected member of the family, and the journey is pretty heartwarming. Tuskens are typically painted in a negative fashion, either shooting at a child or beating the shit out of that child's future son. In the Book of Boba Fett, however, the Tuskens are culturally rich with customs, traditions, and a unique way of living according to the harsh environment of Tatooine. This is all conveyed by how the Tuskens interact with Boba. And when the safety of the Tuskens is threatened, Boba steps in to help, thereby earning their trust. Eventually, they start listening to Boba when the threat becomes too great, forcing them to adopt new strategies to guarantee their safety. This includes learning to ride and hop across speeder bikes to get the edge against the Pike Syndicate transport. Plus, we got this gem.
Like a panther. Yes?
And as a result, the Tuskens succeed in postponing the threat, and this is also rewarding for us as an audience. We get a fast-paced action sequence that shows us the fruit of their labor, but their victory doesn't go without consequence. The Pikes launch a massive counterattack, killing the entire tribe. Well, the Ninja Tusken might actually be okay, but that's another thing. Anyway, Boba thinks his sand buddies were killed by a rival gang, and this really pisses him off. He hires a nearly dead assassin to get his shit back and lays waste to the gang using Slave One's arsenal. And I gotta be honest, this is when Boba is at his best. Now, I do have to mention that some of the ritual scenes are a bit too long. Like, I don't need to see Boba carving a tree branch for 15 minutes. And we already know Boba's life isn't in danger because this whole plotline is basically a big flashback. But overall, this storyline is really fun and shows us a side of Star Wars we don't normally see. So we're off to a good start. But now I gotta talk about the other storyline. Yay! We're back to the present day and Boba is building his underworld empire. What I mean by that is he recruits Hot Topic models and threatens people without doing anything about it. I know everyone has already complained about how dumb the Vespa gang is, and I fully agree. It's out of place, the bike designs are interesting. Go, go, Power Rangers! And their personalities are flatter than my ass. But I have a greater complaint that just irks me to my core. If you eject the Vespa gang from the story, it doesn't change a single thing. They aren't significant to Boba's development, they don't impact the final battle whatsoever, and they don't have any character traits at all. So why are they here? I want to talk to whoever passed this off and just ask why. Like, just tell me and I'll walk away without saying a word. Alright, anyway. Boba needs to prepare for war, and his army consists of the aforementioned Goon Squad, 2 pigmen, Fennec, Chrysanthemum, who's actually pretty cool, and a Rancor he got from Machete. Oh right, and this guy. Yep, the Mandalorian is in this show, and not for a cameo. Oh no. 2.5 of the show's 7 episodes are dedicated to the Mandalorian, and it overshadows Boba's story so damn hard. But we're not quite there yet. The first threat Boba faces to his new empire is the mayor of Masesba, a character shrouded in mystery and could potentially cause the collapse. Oh, he's not the threat? Okay, so the Hutts lay claim to the territory that once belonged to their late cousin Jabba, of which Boba now oh wait. Oh no, they just left. Alright, so the Hutts say bye, Felicia, because the Pikes lay claim to the territory to further expand their spice trade. Can we just get to the point, please? I could talk about the 5 mile per hour chase scene, weird parkour, boring shootout in the finale, but My biggest gripe with the show is that there are no stakes. There isn't a clear goal in mind, so we as an audience aren't invested in the story. Boba wants to cement himself as a leader, but never does anything to earn respect or loyalty. I mean, even Fennec, who's basically Boba's right-hand lieutenant, feels like she's just along for the ride because she has nothing else better to do. I need to keep some shred of my sanity, so I'm basically just over it at this point. This show spends so much time on the most trivial and inconsequential characters and plot points, and it drags down the show so hard. But now we get to talk about the good stuff, and boy oh boy is it delicious. Yep, I guess someone over at Lucasfilm saw the script and was like, yep, we gotta spice this up. And they bring the ghost pepper sauce, baby, because holy moly, we got the armor, Cobb Vanth, Ahsoka Tano, Cad Bane, Grogu, and Luke frickin' Skywalker. It's equally awesome as it is out of place. We're watching a whole different show condensed in these episodes. In episode 5, the Mandalorian learns more about the Darksaber, gets kicked out of his cult, and builds a new ship. We know the Mandalorian so well, and we're fully invested in his journey to reunite with Grogu. Because when episode 6 rolls around, it gets even crazier. First of all, CGI Luke looks amazing. They improved Luke's deepfake so much, and the creators know it. We get long takes of young Luke in bright colors and sunlight, and it looks freaking delicious. Now, it's not perfect. You can still pick out shots that don't quite get it right, but it's the normal stuff. Desynced lip movement, uncanny profile shots, but these common mistakes aren't enough to hurt the experience, especially for today's standards. It's amazing to see how much deepfake technology has improved in such a short amount of time. I guess it's a good time to mention that the rest of the special effects are great too. I love this shot with the N1 starfighter breaking the atmosphere. The CGI on the Darksaber has improved significantly, and look, it's Halo! But I digress. Luke's purpose here is to further Grogu's development through training in the ways of the Jedi and the Force. He repurposes Yoda's training methods to then help Grogu achieve greater abilities. For example, as I'm sure you all know, in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke trains while carrying Master Yoda in a backpack. This allows Yoda to instruct Luke on what is possible through the Force, while Luke experiments with his abilities. In turn, Luke carries Grogu in the same way he did Yoda, but this time, it's to show Grogu what's possible through the Force. This is Luke's way of giving back to Yoda for his sacrifice and carrying on his teachings to find happiness and balance, and it's just so beautiful. There's so much detail in these episodes, and it's clear the creator spent so much time and attention on them. The same can't be said about the rest of the show. And the details may seem insignificant, but they really start to add up for us longtime Star Wars fans. We get Order 66 flashbacks, an N1 starfighter, Mandalorian purge, a BD unit, pod racing, cinematography, the thing Han used to prop up the walls in the Death Star dumpster, and even the commercial droid pilot seen in the Star Tours ride at Disney World. But you don't have to be a longtime fan to know some of the familiar elements. If you've seen even a little bit of the Clone Wars series, you know Ahsoka Tano, and quite possibly Cad Bane. Both characters have a rich history in the Star Wars universe, and their return has relevance in the story, and it actually makes sense. Even if Cad Bane is like 80 years old at this point, Ahsoka is here to help Luke and explain to the Mandalorian that he should let go of Grogu. Cad Bane is a hired gun sent to sever any chances of Boba getting reinforcements during the upcoming conflict. I mean, great. We have 2 episodes that just completely blew us out of the water, and also makes you forget about the entire rest of the show. At this point, the finale rolls around, and we're back to the storyline no one cares about. War breaks out between Boba and the Syndicate. Boba gets betrayed by the people he asked not to betray him. What a surprise. And Cad Bane shows up for a while, disappears before the fighting starts, and pops back up again as a final boss. We do get a meaningful moment where Cad Bane momentarily bests Boba and claims his selfishness is what kept him alive all these years. Boba then catches Bane off guard with his gaffy stick he got from his Tusken family, showing him that loyalty and bonds are stronger than selfish desire. It was a cute little moment. And beyond that, I don't have anything else good to say. Boba rides his Rancor into battle, which is cool for like 5 seconds right before it goes all King Kong on everyone, and Boba's crew have to fight giant droidekas because it just feels lifeless. And it only feels like this when Din and Grogu aren't on screen. That's my biggest problem with the show. It's Boba's show, and it's at its best when he and his menagerie aren't on screen. Why does this show exist in the first place if it only serves to reunite Grogu and the Mandalorian? Just save that for season 3 of the Mandalorian. I can't express how confusing it is for the show to play out like this. Like I said, Boba has nothing to do. Fennec always does things for Boba when we really should have seen Boba do it himself. I mean, in the first episode, Boba refuses to use a litter and walks on his own 2 feet, showing us that he's someone who likes to do things himself. He may be a man of few words, but he has always been a doer. And it's a shame because half the time Boba relies on others to do everything for him. So when he triumphs, it just feels empty and meaningless. We don't even know why he wants to build an empire in the first place. We know he no longer wants to work under cruel leadership, but why does he want the throne for himself? Like we've heard several times, he's a simple man making his way in the galaxy. Now, I'm not here to claim that Boba is the most fleshed out character in the world, so it's not far-fetched for him to usurp the throne because we already know he's ruthless. I mean, Darth Vader looked directly at Boba and said no disintegrations with like 5 other highly trained killers in the room. Darth Vader said that directly to Boba. I just wish we knew what his motivations were. And maybe my big dumb brain missed something because I was snoring through the first few episodes, but I'd be surprised if I was wrong on this. Overall, I still like the show, but it had so much potential and it feels so flat and disingenuous. And from what I know, season 2 is supposed to be a thing, and for the life of me, I have no idea why. But hey, maybe it'll be cooler on the next try. I'm giving it a score of 50%. I hope Kenobi is better. Bye.